Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome to Girl, Let's Agree to Disagree. This is episode 7. We're so glad to have you here. We missed you all so much last week, and we're excited to talk about the absolute mess of last week, the even more of a mess of this week, and what we think is about to happen and who we're pulling for HOH. If you are not already, please go ahead and subscribe and click to receive notifications for our channel. We don't want you to miss any kind of video that we have or anything like that. And don't forget to go follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And I think that's about it. So let's hop into this, guys.
Hey, ladies. I miss you guys. It's so crazy. It's only been a week. It's only been kind of a week, but I miss you all, ladies. And I miss the fans too. Everybody who's been chatting us up. I know a lot of people have been asking, when are you coming back? So this is really great.
I know.
Yes.
Because I feel like I miss you guys, even though we talk every day. But I miss doing this, so it's nice to be back.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree. It's different not being able to see your faces. We text basically every hour about what's going on, but it's nice seeing your actual faces and everything. So I'm sure everybody else is happy to see both of your beautiful faces too.
Absolutely. We miss all of you guys. Everybody who's on the chat, thank you so much for your support. And also know that as of last episode, we were eligible for super chats. So if you'd like to support our channel, you can do so by giving us a super chat. We'd greatly appreciate it. And yeah, let's talk about the mess. The mess, because obviously we know that Ian is out the door. I think a lot of us knew that was going to be the case. But do y'all want to talk about the whole week that led to that mess?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for me, the biggest confusion that I had was with Dani, because she came into the game not liking Tyler. She started to like him because of their shared veganism, and then started to dislike him again. And her entire intention was to backdoor him. So then she got him up on the block. He was still on the block post-veto. And she had Ian up, but then she decided to go. I don't understand. I feel like if she, sorry to say so much, but I feel as though if she were to tell Nicole, all right, I would break the tie and send Tyler home, we would have, a not in chainless summer or fall.
I'm in such awe right now. Obviously, anybody that knows me is I'm down to get rid of the powerful players. As much as I love Tyler as a person, I feel like he was the person who needed to go out this week. No doubt about it. I understand Dani's thought process in wanting to keep, her committee in good standing. Obviously, a lot of them, all of them are going to be in the jury, right? So these are votes. But at the same time, you need people to get rid of your people. I mean, I don't understand this whole at 6, then we go after each other. Dani, you are at the bottom of this alliance. So for her to even think that keeping Tyler is a good idea.
And what I really don't get is she even says, if I'm going to take a shot at Tyler, I don't need to miss. I can't miss. And that's essentially what you did. You still put him on the block. He's still going to come after you. You're still not going to be somebody that he's going to trust. And so it's why would you do that when you could have cemented this with Ian more? I don't understand it, honestly, at all.
I mean, I think it was definitely a misjudgment, but I feel like she's going to regret it. And it's one of those things where it's this is your 3rd time playing, and I feel like you really need to leave everything on the table. And she was trying to keep things in her back pocket, and there really was no reason for it.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we can go back to, obviously, since we didn't have a show last week, we can go back to just Davon, because I want to talk all about Davon. I am so proud of that girl. She literally turned this week around, because it would have been another sad and depressing week. I think the shift of power, even though it wasn't technically a shift of power, right? For the most part, Danny was still in power, but the fact that these powers, the disruptor power that your boy Hannah took out.
My last hope, David Giesling. If you would have told me that David would be the only person that I had left in my draft, I would have laughed at you. But here we are. We'll see where this goes. But I'm proud of him. He's goofy at points, but I mean, he's still there, and some of these people aren't. So there's not really anything else.
David came to Tyler with his whole entire chest yesterday. So, I have nothing but respect for someone who puts like their entire energy behind something. So shouts to that.
He can't not put, that's the problem with him, is he can't lie. Like, if he's unsure about what he's going to do with somebody, he cannot lie about it. He's like, I have to think about it. I'm sorry, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. But it's so funny to watch. And honestly, I'm thankful that we get to see it, because it makes the feeds better and more enjoyable.
It does. He had a little bit of, what we would call liquid confidence yesterday. So for those who didn't watch the feeds or knew what exactly was going on, this, like, right before all of this talking was the celebration of everybody being in jury. So what they do is they shut the feeds down for a couple of hours. They give us a cake.
Some of us
sorry. But for those people who don't know what exactly happened, like, they give you a cake, they give you liquor. It's like, hey, you guys made it to jury. Everybody's in a good mood. You get, beer and wine, which you don't typically get in the house. And then people get tipsy. And that's exactly what we saw. Because I was watching these feeds like, where the hell did Tyler and David have this exchange of words? It seemed so out of place. It didn't seem like them. And David was, and he even said, I've been drinking, So
Tyler, who's literally America's sweetheart, was cursing up a storm. I didn't even know he cursed. I didn't even know Tyler cursed. I had no idea the word F-U-C-K. I don't know what YouTube's rules are. F-U-C-K. that was in his vocabulary. So, like, just seeing all of that last night, there was a lot of aggression. So I knew they were,
A lot of people are asking why they don't see this on the feeds, and it's because, and this is why I sometimes have a hard time with fans coming at and saying, we know everything and we see everything that's going on. And there is a lot of that time that you don't get to see where people actually a bond over just human interaction. And that's why sometimes in the house, people seem a lot closer than what you think they would be. The feeds get turned off and then you get to talk as people. But as soon as they talk game, the feeds turn on again, or they'll stop the party, or they also, I remember they had music. So, which is another reason they don't have the feeds on, because music starts playing. And obviously CBS doesn't want to pay for royalties unless they're on Love Island, which, David thought he was on Love Island. So, but that's not the case.
I just, I feel like they should show a little bit more than they do with these 24. Well, what is it? Like maybe 17 6 live feeds? I don't know. But like, I feel like
that even.
Yeah, like if it's going to be 24/7, don't miss a moment. I don't want to miss a moment.
Yeah.
Yep. They really, CBS does not care about our coin, obviously, at all.
Well, so obviously, David's kind of on this. I have the disruptor. Can we also talk about his Denzel Washington performance of like this cry Because I was looking at him like, really, dude? You're going to cry like, oh my God, someone saved me. Was it you? Was it you? Was it you? Was it you? Was it
Oh
you?
my God.
It was just like,
Devon was
whoa.
shaking. She was like, he is not about to come in here and steal my spot as the actrice. Okay? Like, that is not going to happen. I'm getting my David Emmy.
Moving forward, do you think this is going to hurt his game?
I don't
think so. I don't think that he is like, I don't think that a lot of these people take him seriously, and I don't think that that really changed that in the first place. So I think every week it's more so of like, is he going to skate by this week? But I do think that like with everything that happened this past week, there is an opportunity for, depending on who wins HOH, that like maybe they will start targeting each other, and he and Kevin both might be able to not be on the block again. It just depends on who there is really, but I'm pulling for a David, Devon, Kevin HOH. So we'll see.
You know what? I was thinking about this last night, like the rankings of who would and would not be eligible or like considered for a win. Like, I feel like David is the one person in the house that everyone could probably beat with this like jury.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly wouldn't be surprised because here was the thing. I think in Dani's mind, she was putting David and Kevin, and I think ultimately they probably wanted Kevin out. A lot of people are saying Kevin out, Kevin out. This has been on the feeds. A lot of people wouldn't want David out necessarily because it does seem like he would be the person that you could be. A lot of people have been comparing him to a Victoria of sorts, who was on Cody and oh my gosh, why am I having such a brain fart right now? And Derek, Cody and Derek. And she was the third. She was, top 3, I guess, but she didn't.
Not to cut you off, but I just got like the image of Cody's eviction or his like final speech for season 16. He looked really good that night.
We want to thank Michelle Noel Creations. Thank you so much. She says, hi, ladies. Glad to see you live. I at first read that and I thought, glad to see that you're alive, but it's not. Well, let's keep that up for a little bit. Yeah, we're happy too. But going back to this David thing. So I think a lot of people do want to keep him just because he's an easy beat. And really, if you have a 6-person alliance and you're number 2, like your number 2 is part of this 6-person alliance, and then you're splitting your votes between the alliance people. How does that work? It would be better to someone next to you who isn't in your alliance.
I'm ready to see the conversation that is had with David and Tyler, because Tyler will obviously know that David did not vote to keep him. And so I really want to see how that conversation plays out. Like, I'm ready for feeds to come back on tonight because that is what I want to see. It's going to be another like, man, what happened? Like, what happened?
Girl, I'm ready to see like David leave the room of that conversation and see what Tyler says when he leaves, because I feel like Tyler's gonna be on the same like whatever he was on with Danny when he's like, yeah, no, I understand, I completely get it, like blah blah. The moment that David leaves, what the fuck is up with him? Like, oh my god, what is up with him? Okay. And
David's gonna swear. He's gonna be like, I swear on Ovi that it was not me. It wasn't me.
How do you feel about being sworn on?
I think if it were any other circumstance, he would be like honored. But because it's this, and because he's being such a hot mess, he's just like, ugh, God, like, damn.
So I feel so bad for Ian because I honestly didn't want to see him leave. For people who were comparing maybe this episode to what actually happened in the feeds, it was actually insanely off. Like insanely off. I felt like I was watching 2 different shows.
Yeah.
Ian wasn't necessarily the best sport. Nicole had an amazing edit. You know, it looked like she was going to keep him all the way through. They showed David like 0 times. They didn't show any of his conversations with Ian, which I thought was kind of gold. And, you know, the conversations that they had, the house that is now the alliance. Wait, who believes this house alliance with Kevin, with
I love that
Kevin, and David? You said what, Kemi?
I think the name is so cute. Like, I love that. Like, I like names that are creative like that instead of like Slick Six, you know, like dial it back.
I gotta give it to Kevin. Like, honestly, even though like his reads are really off, he's insanely entertaining. Like, if him and Day leave, I don't even think I'd want to watch the show, to be quite honest, or the regular show.
That's my thing. Like, Kevin's getting a lot of screen time, and when I'm watching the feeds, he's nowhere to be found. But like,
exactly,
a lot of, you know. Honestly, Nicole might be upset when she gets out the house and sees how much screen time Kevin got compared to her.
Yeah. It's kind of coming out of nowhere, honestly, because you watch the feeds or you read updates and it's like Kevin is nowhere in these conversations. But every episode, he is repeatedly showing up. I don't know. Also, thank you, Jesse. That's very kind of you. We appreciate you.
He said, glad to see you're alive.
I'm glad that we are too. Thank you.
We're glad that we're alive. Yeah. I don't know. I think that I want this house to work. And quite honestly, a house win for the HOH this week is the only thing I want, obviously, because there needs to be kind of a disruption of power. Like, I know that, you know, whoever watched 21 like, really was tired of seeing a major alliance.
Me,
you know, in the house.
That would be me watching that show.
I think more than half of the viewers and half of the fans did not like what was going on last year. So,
girl, that was my first season, and I was like, "This is boring." I was like, "This is not a good show." And I went back and watched other ones, and I was like, "Oh, okay, like I get it." But that one, I was like, "I don't get it. Make it make sense."
Yeah, and I think that it's the same thing here because I'm just so bored watching these 6. I mean, mainly because on the feeds they're just so damn rude and they're so mean. And
boring. Like, let's be like, I am sure that the people that I haven't met in this cast are also nice people. The people that I have met, like everyone in the house, my experience like meeting the people that I have met, they were all very nice people. So like everyone's nice. Let's just put that as the blanket. But fuck, man, I mean, crap. This is a TV show. Like, why is everyone so boring? This is boring. Like, I feel like if they brought in actual all-stars, like if they brought in Danielle Reyes, if they brought in Dan Giesling, like we would at least have like some sort of entertainment. Like, I am not entertained. Like, you know that like frat boy saying like, are you not entertained? Like, no, I'm not. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's just it's more so like I'm invested in it and I can't look away. It's like a bad accident or something that you're just like, I can't, like, it's not fun to look at, but you can't not. And so now at this point, I'm just like, I'm invested and I need to know what happens, but I'm not like having a good time by it. This past week was a little boost in the serotonin, considering like gameplay things. But there were a lot of other things that were not so much, which is another reason why these people really suck.
And I mean, and the only reason that happened was because there were powers at play. So now you have, obviously we knew David was going to use a disruptive power. So that was something that we knew was going to throw a wrench in Danny's game. Then you have Day winning the veto, which yay. I mean, that was the most epic win because we knew that she was going to take, you know, Kevin off and actually make it hard for them. And I really commend Day, not because I didn't like how they were trying to quote unquote kind of like bully her into not using this. I was like,
they're trying to gaslight her.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, they're trying to gaslight her into thinking, that it's like something bad for her when they know damn well. Even Dani says, like, to the cameras or whoever, she's like, I know this is like good for her, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But she tries to convince her that it's not. And I know that that's the game, but like, she's not stupid. Like, Devon's not stupid. She knows that to Kevin is good for her. Like,
they definitely should have like put a little bit more effort behind it. Like, I am all for the manipulation, sure, but I mean, at least make it make sense. Like,
thank you.
Come to her with like offer her something. Don't tell her it's bad for her game. Like, she's not, like Hannah said, like, she's not stupid.
She's not. Nobody would think that. Like, even David would be like, no, you're wrong. That's not it.
If someone told me, like, you really don't want to do that because you're going to get, like, they're going to come after you next week, I'd be like, bring it on, bitches. Like, I ain't scared of you. Don't punk me out. Like, I don't care. Like, that's like, I don't do well with intimidation. Like, I don't like the condescending, you know, that I don't know. I don't like men mansplaining things to me. I don't like those condescending tones, and I don't like people gaslighting me. So it's just like, oh, you don't want me to do it? And that's why I love Devon, because that's exactly what she did. She was like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Because guess what? One really good ally is all, oh, not that all you really need. You need more to win the game, right? But,
it's still better than the half-ass ally beside them that in Tyler that you've seen is not 100% for you. So, like, I mean, nobody can blame her for that. We love her, obviously.
Home last week. Like, let's not forget about that. Like, you sent home her untouchable. You sent home her untouchable last week, and then now you're trying to send home her best, like, her closest friend in there. Like, she barely even likes David. So Kevin's like the last person that she actually likes that isn't working with other people. So
that she likes, and I know that people are saying, you know, that unfortunately Kevin isn't a great ally. I think to Devon he is, and I think that he could still win. Like, not win the game, mind you. Like, he could still win a competition. he could
win this one tonight. Honestly, he did pretty well. He did pretty well at the last competition. I don't remember what it was, but it was something similar to like a stacking thing or something like that. And he did pretty well at that. And he just messed up towards the end of like his timer and everything. So, like, I think his chances of doing great in this are pretty high. I mean, God, I hope I'm not wrong and he's out in the first minute or whatever. But I mean, the thing is with this is that there's no world that Kevin puts Devon on the block. And that's the bottom line for her. Yeah. That's what has to be the bottom line for her at this point, is that he's not going to put her up. And he's probably, he and David are probably the only ones that can say that. She can say that for sure.
Absolutely. And he has played really well in these competitions. A lot of people haven't noticed, but he's come in like second place almost in every other competition. So the fact that he's been right behind that winner, like he has a good chance. So, I mean, I think other people have also been throwing comps, so that could also kind of factor into these things. But at the same time, they're still very good. You know, everybody at this point, I feel like, is a pretty good competitor. So again, I think that her taking Kevin off, having them three, it at least ensures her, because I still think that people want Kevin out more than they want Devon at this moment. So even if they did put them two up, it would be Kevin, you know, to go. But I don't know. And we want to thank Jacob Jordan, said Jessica Queen should be the secret neighbor. We'll talk about that, because that was kind of what. Thank you. Unfortunately, I am not the secret neighbor. Kemi, are you the secret neighbor?
Oh, no. I thought you were lying, though. I thought you were this. You texted me. Well, we'll talk about that afterwards.
Kemi, we're supposed to be throwing them off.
Okay, but honestly, like, I've been thinking about this for a while, and I feel like I just need to get it off my chest. Who is going to target Cody?
Like, seriously, Obi and I were talking about this today. His social game is like high up there right now, and like I don't think that many people are talking about it, but like he is not really on anybody's radar. Like I think people think that he is, you know, like running things. Like Nicole and Danny definitely realize that he's higher up on the tier in their alliance with them, but I don't think that they would put him up. I really don't.
I don't think so either. Him and Enzo, I think those are the two that's like, but I think that Enzo would cut Cody in a heartbeat. I don't think Cody would cut Enzo. Like I feel like Enzo really, really came to play and make big moves and like, well, not big moves, but like make a move. Whereas like Cody just kind of sitting back, relaxing and chilling.
Yeah, somebody said that Devon and Kevin would. Yeah, you're totally right. I meant more so like in their own alliance. Like they're not, I don't think that they're going to put Cody up. But you're right, the person who mentioned that.
Absolutely. He's really, Cody is literally patted on all ends. I think that we saw that this week. I mean, even with him saying that he didn't even have to do anything, to be quite honest. He was sitting pretty. Even with Ian, which surprised me so much that Ian had like this wool over his eyes. It's like, if you're telling me that I have four people in my alliance and the one person in my alliance puts me up, that I'm not, without telling me, that I'm not going to think that you're going to get me out and that you don't have anything on the side.
Yeah. Cody has gotten out of a lot of these conversations just scotch-free. Like there was literally that whole conversation where Ian is talking to Enzo about, you know, if I get this vote, if I get David's vote, will you keep me? And Enzo's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if we have the votes, whatever. Cody's there. Cody's right there. And like still gets out of it without like any kind of like retribution, anything, any hard feelings, anything like that. And I don't know how he does it. It's impressive, honestly. I don't know if it's his mist or whatever, but I don't get it.
Is Cody misty though? Is he misty? I feel like,
I mean, he's got everybody misted right now. There's nobody looking for Cody. Like Danny's got him covered.
Who was that?
Huh?
Who was the first person? Oh, okay.
Danny.
I wasn't sure what you said there. So
sorry, I want to let everybody know that as of right now, because I just checked I don't know, did I just like flicker on and off? Did you guys see me? No,
I didn't see
my video. I'm sorry, because I kind of tried to check to see who won HOH, but the feeds are still not on. So
I don't see anything yet.
I still see kittens. So we do not know who is HOH right now. Do you want to talk about who we think is going to win this, or who we hope? Obviously, who we hope to win it.
Like before the episode went off, David was looking kind of good in this competition. Like he was like putting them together. Yeah, and honestly,
for a quick second, I thought you were saying you were attracted to him. Like, I thought you were saying David was looking good. I was like, what?
Well, thank you guys for this episode of Girl, Let's Agree to Disagree, because clearly Jessica is on something. No, he was looking real good in this competition. Like, I would love. Okay, I see why. Okay, I see what I said.
Someone clip that. Yeah, someone clip that and and throw it. No, sorry.
He will take it to the grave, and I can't. But anyways, I would love to see a David HOH, because could you imagine the HOH-itis of David?
Look,
it would be so chaotic.
Right now. It's so chaotic, and I want that. Like I want to see David run a mess, like Inception all around. I want him to be like, do you think you're going up? Why would you think? I mean, I mean,
I think-
could go up. I mean, up is down and down is up.
He'll
But is
do
sideways an option?
I heard week 2 you said that I was doing my pull-ups wrong and blah blah. Like he is gonna like literally plunger it, bring up all the old shit and or crap. Oh my god.
It's okay, girl. This is not a child.
If we're gonna get demonetized because of cuss words, it's already happened at this
Okay.
point.
This is not a children's episode.
Okay.
But I definitely think that David is going to be one that like just sits in there and like just lets people come to him, which is fine. Like, I think that's hilarious. And he's going to just let people come to him. And you're totally right. He's just going to sit there and just let them pitch and just gaze. Just the blank stare.
He has it in his mind, all of the wrongdoings that have ever been done to him since he walked in the house. So as soon as someone comes into his room, he's going to be like, what was that, Kemi?
In season 21, he's gonna be like, "You didn't follow me back on Instagram, so."
Just the way he talked to Cody.
What if he puts up Devon for not following him back on Instagram?
Exactly. He's saying that like she made it personal by not following him back on Instagram. Like she followed me back. I think she followed me first. So honestly, you get what. Oh my god, I'm joking. I shouldn't have said that.
No, I mean, honestly, it's the best thing that could happen. I mean, he would not put Day up. He would not put Kevin. I would be very interested to see who he does put up. I'm pretty sure Danny's going to be in that mix, obviously, because he was put up by Danny.
I don't think he's going to put up Memphis. And it's like, what are you doing? You need to put Memphis up. But I don't think he would.
That one, Lord help me. If he doesn't put Danny and Memphis up on his HOH, like he will be looked sideways by all of humanity. I would not get it. And look, I don't know. I would take something like that personally, and I know personal is personal and game is game, and then sometimes there's personal game. But
no,
I personally don't believe in personal game. I think it's either you're playing personal or you're playing game, and sometimes they want it together. But if you do me dirty, even on a personal level, I don't know. Yeah.
I think that you're right, honestly. I think that putting up a combination of, either a Danny and Memphis or a Nicole and Memphis would be really good, because I think it would force that alliance to expose their rankings of each other. And I think that that would be really good to shift that up. I'm not sure that it would happen as much if you put up like, I don't know. I don't think it would happen as much if you put up like a Danny and Nicole situation, or, reverse, do like a Memphis and I'm not sure. I think that putting up a girl and Memphis would be a good way to get that catfighting going on.
But I don't see him putting up any other guy other than Memphis, if that makes sense, because he has a good relationship with Enzo. His relationship with Enzo is, he was kind of working with him to keep Bay. If anything right now, the worst relationships he has in the house, I think probably would be a Tyler or a Memphis. And if you're going to put Tyler up before Memphis, I don't know, especially with the amount that Tyler has helped him in the game. But then again, the way Tyler talked to him yesterday could have just really irked him, and he probably on his hit list. So who knows?
Yeah. I did see somebody in the comments say something about Christmas. I would also love to see Christmas gone. I'm not sure what that would really do for game, but I just don't like her. So
he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. David has a good relationship with Christmas, which is really odd. Yeah. It's actually very odd. He was talking to her. He was the one who told her that he was gonna vote for Ian. Like, I think that the relationship, I'm not quite understanding the relationship between him and Christmas. He has literally ran back to her to tell her absolutely everything that he hears. And I'm very confused as to the Christmas myth. missed. Say that 3 times fast. Christmas missed.
I really don't get it, honestly, because I've watched the feeds, man, and like, I just don't like, not even on a game level, but like the conversations that she has, some of these people are really strong for dealing with and entertaining some of the conversations that are had, because I don't get it. I really don't. Even just like having her around, I don't know. And maybe I'm like biased and am annoyed because of all of the things that she's like done. But yeah, I just don't like her.
You know, though, we got night 1 feeds. So we see pretty much all of the conversations that happened since night 1. Jessica, do you remember the first week of Big Brother 21 and the conversations that were going on?
Kemi, I feel like you're putting me on the spot right now. Wait, which ones? There were so many.
Everyone's trying to get everything out of their system. And those conversations were very different than the ones this season. So, you know.
Mm-hmm. I've been told about what was going on week 1 and the conversations that were going on. This is a very different ball game for sure.
Very different season. I do wish that I was on Big Brother 20 and 22 because, you know, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Y'all were in a frat house. Like, let's be honest. You were in Sigma Chi and just hanging out the week before formal. Like, that's what y'all were doing.
Yeah, it was very much of a frat house.
We were in Pike, Hannah. We were literally in Pike.
That's true. Yeah, Pike got kicked off of our campus not long ago, so that makes sense too.
Pike suspended at Maryland too.
Yeah, I couldn't really I really couldn't get down with the stuff that was being said on our season first week. It was like verbal diarrhea. It was like giving me too much information. Like, I don't want to know. I felt like,
yeah. Thank you for this information that I did not ask for. But what do I do with it?
That doesn't have anything to do with our game. That shows how weird and strange of an individual that you are. And
yeah, but I feel like that does. But then it does affect the game, because ultimately you're also playing with people that you get along with, that you like. Like, sorry. I mean,
but it didn't affect it in like a bad way. I still made it to the end.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't vote for Mickey because I didn't want him winning $500,000. He is not the type of person who should be winning $500,000. Now, not to say like that it was that was not a personal. It was my personal opinion of him. He was, in ways, a decent player. He was a good player. I'm like, I mean, he won comps. Some people like literally.
Kimmy thought you were gonna say person.
Yeah, I was like,
no. I'm saying he was a decent player. He did play the game, but so did everybody else in different ways. Like, and so if what comes down to it is I'm basing it on who's owning up to their game. That was like one of the only reasons I didn't vote for him, which is why actually I really liked Nicole's speech to Ian at the end, and actually owning up to the fact that she was a part of a bigger alliance, because I think I was really surprised to look at Ian and see like that relief and that look of relief on his face when he knew that he was being played. Which I was like, oh,
he's actually gonna quit jury. That's what I want to know, because I completely understand, like, being the first one in jury is something that I would never want. Like, last season, I was hoping, praying, like, sending an angel up to the sky that Jack was the first one in jury. And my wish was granted, because I knew it had to be hell to be there by yourself. And like, week after week, more people are coming, and like, you're not going to win the money. So if I was Ian, like, I feel like I might want to leave.
Jury is a beautiful place, and I think that Tyler and Ian particularly want to leave because they don't know what jury really looks like. You have this idea of what jury's going to be. Jury in sense
there
doesn't
are no sunsets that can keep me in a house. Like I will go to Google Images and look at a Pinterest, even look at a beautiful sunset. I don't need that. I would miss Billions so much. You know what?
Oh my God, that would be like the factor for me. I'd be like, you know what? Moki, if you can send Moki to that jury house, then sure. But if not,
exactly. If I could just have one visit, then I could probably do it. But yeah, no.
And no, sorry to break it to you, this just in, you do not get a call in jury. Unless all-stars are getting a completely like new contract and people are saying, oh, you get a call. We've been told, we thought going in that you get a call in jury and you do.
I saw somewhere, I don't remember if it was reputable or not, but I did see or read somewhere that I don't know if it was on feeds, like them talking about it, but I thought someone said that they might get like monitored calls in jury this time because it's all-stars.
That's what well, if it's all-stars, maybe, but every season has said that. We thought we were going to get monitored calls as well. And then when we got out.
Did you? Because I didn't have any impression that if Ovi made it to jury, I was going to call him.
Yeah, we talked about it in the house. We're like, oh, wow, you get, there's a point right now when you're in jury where you kind of, or right before you leave and you're leaving, you kind of come to terms with it. But first you're angry, then you're in denial. You go through all those steps. And then at the end, it's like acceptance. And then you're like, good riddance. I want to get the fuck out of here. And then you realize you don't get a call. And then you're just like, what the fuck? Yeah, I mean, I went in thinking like, I'm done. I see sun. Amazing. And then you just go back into another jail.
I swear I read something that said that they might get it because it's an all-stars season. Like that was something that they like gave them or whatever. I don't know. We don't know, but maybe they do.
We're giving them everything. They get a bidet. Nicole got her swim or whatever. They get calls in jury.
We'll see.
So,
but either way, I think Ian will stay in jury. I think that he's just heated, and we saw that in his conversations with Danny, where he was, very blunt and was like, "This is stupid. You should know better. This is your third-time player."
I feel like he is like similar to me, but like maybe me on steroid or like acid or something. Like I remember being in the house and I'm thinking like, well, there's no way that this is going to happen because it just doesn't make sense. And like, it's not logical. And you kind of forget that like not everyone plays based on like what makes the most sense and what's logical. Like there's a lot of emotion that goes into it.
Yeah.
And like, I saw that like leading up to this vote today that he was very like, it doesn't make like it makes more, and it does. It makes more sense. Sorry. Oh my God. I don't know why my thoughts keep coming to the computer, but it made more sense to send Tyler home because Tyler, I feel like anytime there's like a should have won player, get them out of there. Like if Paul was there, get him out of there. Tyler, get him out. Like,
yeah, it just makes so much more sense at this point. Like, really, Danny, how in the world are you going to keep a guy that you put? First of all, you guys were going after each other. You knew he was going after you before you even put him on the block. He knew you were coming after him. You put him on the block. You told him you weren't going to put him on the block. Then you put him on the block. Then you're saying, you're not my target, but you put him on the block when you could have put a lot of other people on the block. Yeah. This guy is going after you. Like, why are you going to keep him? You said, Hannah, he's the guy, like, you put him up, you can't miss that shot. And she totally missed that. And, like, seriously, if he wins, I feel like she has a good clear chance of going up.
That's what you're right, Kimmy. Like, that's what's the most messed up about this situation is because I think if you put Ian next to almost anybody in that house other than maybe like a David, I think that he would lose. I think that they would vote for the other person. I really do, because they see him, he's already won. He's already whatever. And I think that's the kind of like logic they would have. But Tyler, I think they're going to look at that and be like, you know what? He should have won his first season, or some of them might think that. And then they're going to be like, he made it to this point too, so we have to give it to him. Like, I think that that's how it will go. And with Ian, there could have been the logic of, you know, he's already won. Should we give it to him again? Whereas Tyler, you know, he was robbed his first season, and now it's like, I mean, at this point, if he makes it to final 2, like, how can you not?
And you know what's weird? I feel like that's like the fundamental difference between Big Brother players and Survivor players. Like, I feel like that would never happen in Survivor. Like, someone gets to the end and then they're like, oh, well, they already won. Like, let's not give them the money. Like, that would I don't see that happening in Survivor ever. But like Big Brother, I feel like it's so much more emotional than Survivor. And it's hard, even though a lot of people say like, oh, you know, I'm not playing based on emotions. Like, there is that emotional aspect in it. Like, no matter how good of a game, like Jack, Jackson, Nick, Christy, or I think that's probably it, played, I would have never voted for them. Like, they could have been up against like one of the PAs in the final 2, and I would have voted for the PA. Like, not a chance. So
I agree. Agree. So Miss History, thank you again for the $5, but wanted to say they get to advertise their jewelry and seasonless cookbook instead of giving an eviction speech. Not all stars, but all favorites.
I'm gonna be real. The cookbook looks kind of good. Like, I think it looks good. The page for the food looks good, but I get what you're saying, Miss History.
Look,
the shout out is funny.
I also will say that if I had a company and I'm on national TV, I am shouting it out. Like, Nicole and her podcast, like, she was shouting, like, she was walking out the door. Y'all are all coming on the podcast. You're all coming on What Up, Friends? You know, so listen, if I ever go back on like one of these shows, like, the first thing that I'm going to be doing is I don't know why he wasn't wearing anything. I would have had the cookbook in my hand, like a picture of the cookbook on. I would be a mess. So,
I would have had the necklace on and been like, it's going to be 15% off tomorrow as a celebration of me not leaving this house. Like,
I agree with the idea. These are all stars. These are all stars, for crying out loud. It's for the love of the game, not for the knot in the chain. You know, I just came up with that.
Okay.
Oh my God.
All right, bars.
I'm like, Enzo, yo.
Wait,
I'm
was that
spitting rhymes.
in your head, Jess, or were you?
It totally did. I mean,
somebody get her a contract because
I don't know, but no, seriously, I feel like it should have been. I feel like that the eviction was just the speeches were just so blah. Come on, like, I want a Kaser eviction speech, you know, like, what?
When you take a shot at the queen, you best not miss.
Yeah, I just
Tyler should have said, when you take a shot at the king.
Vegans are giving me the meat and potatoes. Well, you're giving me the potatoes with no meat. I need it to be meaty. You know?
Okay.
Give me something.
I want to know why it has been an hour and we don't know who won this HOH.
Yeah, I need to know.
So we still don't know, but I know that people have been asking us our favorites. What I want to do right now is, because we haven't done this in a while, but we want to give you guys the update of our draft.
Dear God.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Bailey needs to be X'd off too.
Sorry.
Just X them up.
There's 2 X's on Ian, but one is supposed to be on Bailey. So as you can see, Hannah's on the bottom right, Kemi's is on the top right, and then mine is on the top left. And damn, Hannah, I'm sorry. And viewers' draft pick is Christmas. Y'all are doing phenomenal, because I don't see anybody getting her out anytime soon. She also still has her power. So we have 2 powers into play. Someone had asked, why we think that Danny didn't use her power. Obviously, I don't think it was really smart to have Danny use her power because I feel that would make her an obvious target. She'll probably end up using the power on someone else since it's all secret and probably put that whoever is HOH on this one, say if it's David or if it's Kevin or if it's Davon, she'll use it so that they can play the next one and then get them, maybe put a bigger target on them to get them out. That's my process.
She's this week. Like, I don't know who would put her up, except for maybe David. And I think, you know, she has enough finesse with David that she could probably stay the week anyways.
Well, maybe Devon.
You think Davon will put her up?
Yeah, I think Davon is like still annoyed with her for all of that. Like, I think that she's playing it off well, but I think she's not stupid enough to know that like Christmas does not value her.
Can I just say, I really appreciate the people who talk to the cameras. Like, I mean, now I understand like why Taryn like loves certain people so much, because the people who talk to the cameras, I thank you for letting us know what you're thinking.
No, you're lying.
I know.
Stefan, you better be lying.
Wait.
Someone said, Jonathan Dugdale says Memphis 1 HOH. We have
I don't see that.
Stefan Rincon saying Memphis 1. Please do not tell me. Please do not. What
Big Brother Daily. Wait. God, why do people make all these fake BB Daily accounts? I believe them. I don't see an official update.
Updates yet. Are you a PA? Are you a PA?
Who's the PA? Who's watching us? Who knows this? Yeah, we're gonna need some confirmation.
I don't think that's true yet, guys. Don't worry. I don't think that's true.
This is wrong. Shaky hands. I don't know if this is the competition for him. Honestly. Those hands looking a little like, I don't know.
But not only that, but Memphis is in a place right now where he doesn't need to win an HOH. He is, to be quite honest, he's one of and as much as I do not like the man at all, let me tell you, he is not my favorite person on or off screen. I do think he is playing a really great, like, low-key game. He's pretty much playing the game that I feel like Ian should have been playing. You know, when you're talking about kind of, you know, low key, he is weirdly kind of the mastermind in what's happening along with Cody. Like, they're
let's tell it. He's a mastermind.
Ian can't play the Memphis game because Ian's not an asshole, so doesn't work.
But he's also very, I mean, as much of an asshole as he is, he was very honest with Ian, and Ian was like, I really appreciate that about him. Given Ian doesn't know that he's been made fun of by Memphis, Ian knows
it's like Memphis has like basically shit on him for the past like 2 weeks, but you know, at least he
told him straight up. Because the only ones I see are behind his back. Yeah, so Ian doesn't know, and I agree with you there. But Ian doesn't know that. Ian thinks that Memphis. He thinks that it's a great game move that Memphis says, "I'm not gonna vote. I'm not gonna vote to keep you because you're smarter than me." And Ian said, "I really appreciate that about him. That he was the only person who was real with me." So I think that that gives Ian like that. You know. It gives him good points with Ian. You know, I don't think in the jury house people are gonna say Memphis was talking shit about you. I mean, I don't know.
And that's because Ian is very logical. Like, how many logical players do we have in this game? Like, we have Ian. I think honestly, for as much as she's also very emotional, Nicole is really
logical.
Good in the game. She's so good. Like, I saw a conversation between her and Ian last night, or maybe it was the night before, where she was like, all right, tell me what your pitch is to Christmas. And then he told her, and she's like, okay, what else? And then he like elaborated a little bit more, and she's like, okay, but why is it better for Christmas's game for you to stay over Tyler? and then he like said something, and she's like, okay, but why is Tyler detrimental to his game? And then he and she's like, okay, go with that. And it's like, yes, breadcrumbs. Like that is the type of that little segment is what I would like to see on an episode. Like that type of strategy that they used to show on like the older season, just someone leading you to something instead of outright telling you, just like trying to help you get to the conclusion yourself, that I like to see in games like this. But you don't do it anymore. So
no, I totally agree with you, Kimmy. I think that that's something that people don't really give her enough credit for, is that she does. Like when you see her and she's like freaking out about something, she's freaking out about it sometimes because she's looked 2-3 steps ahead, and she's like, this is what this does for me. And, she's very emotional about it and upset about it, but she knows when something is going to affect her in a negative way. And some of these people do not.
I'm sorry, Hannah. I didn't mean, I was agreeing with
You're
you.
fine.
At the same time, I'm thinking, but what is gameplay and what is like personal? Because this whole week I feel was so performative, and it was so on brand for her, because her brand was watching today, and CBS made her brand look absolutely amazing. I don't know if it's because CBS felt that for some reason she was getting too much shit and they wanted to, make it look good for the cameras and, show that it wasn't them versus what she actually did on the live feeds. I'm not quite sure, but that's infuriating, because what I wanted to see was her bitch and whine and moan and say, why does Devon get to keep Kevin, her +1, and I have to get rid of my untouchable or whatever? It's like that she got her. What are you talking about? They left the week before. I wanted people to see all of it. I want people to see that she is being that whiny, entitled brat. And I want people to see that she is also being very strategic, because you can be both things, but make it well-rounded, Because that's what pisses me off.
I guess I just don't understand what you mean. You wanted to see that, but what network. I don't know.
Kemi keeps on reminding me what network we're talking about. Girl,
this ain't The Bachelor. They're not going to show you the good, the bad, the ugly. That's not what's going to happen.
Tell me, Kemi, is this glass half full or half empty?
Girl, it's half empty. Because let me tell you, there's more than
I got so much more to drink. That's what I'm on. I always keep hope that CBS will somehow, turn on the light and kind of see things for what they are. I hope that people come in power and they're just like, no, I want it to be like BB Canada and have someone like Arissa Cox be like running the show and like put 50%, Black people of color in there. Black, Indigenous, and people of color in there. Like, I want to see that. I'm still holding out.
You should tell them. You should call it CBS right after. I mean, it's only like 7:00 over there, so like you should call them up right after we finish in a few minutes and let them know what you want, and let your voice be heard, and see if they'll listen. And when they don't, we'll be right back here next week having the same conversation.
I can still watch. Someone said, seriously, Jessica. I do. I want the best. I'm sorry. Maybe I should be more pessimistic. Like, I know they're not doing it. It pisses me the fuck off. It seriously does. And I get mad.
They're not doing it and not going to do it.
Yeah.
Two separate
and that's where we disagree, because like I say, yes, they're not. Are they not going to do it? I would hope that they would at some point, even if they're as performative as MTV. Like,
oh my God. Oh my God. Well, one thing I will say is, at the end of the day, not to get too into this, but like everyone caters to the audience that they have. And that's all I'll say about that.
That's true. I also keep on forgetting that.
And we know what CBS's audience is on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night.
Neighbors. I'm joking.
How can I apologize. I want to show Miss History saying Nick Karen. I don't know how to put this up, but Miss History, thank you for the donation, $5. She says Nick Karen 2.0 this past week. Did we see Nicole turn into a little bit of a Karen this week?
Turn into? That would imply that she wasn't.
But you know what? Again, like, I don't want to be like Nicole's like defender in this, but I had a serious Karen moment today at Joanne Fabrics. So I feel like I can empathize. Like, everyone has like a little bit of Karen in them. She is a full-blown Karen. But like, I feel like everyone has like a little bit of Karen in them. My Karen like left out today, but
2.0. You said that.
I love that you were at a Joanne's Fabric. Like, that is like the epitome of being a Karen, is being at a Joanne's Fabric.
They still have Joanne Fabrics?
What'd you say?
What?
They still have Joanne Fabrics?
Yes.
Yeah, we got them here.
Oh, I haven't seen one of those in forever. I think those are all taken over by Michael's or something.
I had to buy mesh, so.
Somebody said, what did Joanne do to you? Okay, nothing. I don't have anything against Joanne personally as a company. Joanne's is not like a Hobby Lobby that we don't stand. But Joanne's, in my mind, is just a place where, you know, a middle-aged woman likes to spend her time. And we know that sometimes middle-aged women and being a Karen coincides. That's all I have to say.
The asymmetrical haircut, you know, it's a time.
Wait, so did we confirm that Memphis won HOH, or were people trolling us?
No, somebody was just being mean and lied.
I don't think feeds are back yet.
Okay. We're trying to make sure that we have that for you, because I would love to talk about who is going to get put up. I feel like the puzzle wouldn't have taken that long.
I don't know.
No, I think they're probably like cooling down or something. Like, they just don't put the feeds on.
Yeah. So, I mean, so now Ian is first person in jury. He thinks he sucks now. And I felt really bad for him. I really did. He didn't deserve to go. But now we have something about BB Neighbor. What is this? Where is this neighbor? Where is it heading? Is it in jury? Or is it someone that's in the house, like in a separate part of the house? Is
Robin Cass? I'm joking.
What do we think? What do we think about this? I mean, I don't even know. Someone says it has to be Rachel Riley.
I feel like it is.
She actually just tweeted something about that. She was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great TV," talking about the Big Brother, like the neighbor or whatever. So maybe she's throwing us off.
But she's so
that means that it could possibly be a twist that gets brought on by, say, a Pandora's box, or, you know, a push of a button. I feel like I can only imagine that production is thinking, okay, people are kind of fed up with this 6 ruling. I mean, there's only so much you could take about 6 people that, you know, that take up all of the damn airtime and are kind of just ruling the house. Spark some interest, have someone push red button, whoever pushes the red button, which would probably be Davon or Kevin, because obviously they want to see some shit shaken up, and bring somebody else in. But I don't honestly think it's a player. I think it would probably be maybe an ex-house guest that is going in there to, I don't know, talk their talk their ear off or as a
Do
punishment.
you know where Obi is at this current?
Yes, Hannah, where is Obi?
I don't know. I don't see him.
Well,
He's not in here, is he?
he might be in the neighbor's house. We don't know.
I don't think it's going to be a player. I mean, I just don't see any scenario where that happens just because of like how much they all know, obviously. So I don't really see that scenario. I think it's just something for them to get us to watch next week, which we're going to anyways. And then we'll be disappointed again, but maybe I'm just being pessimistic.
You know what? You're probably right. They probably know they don't have enough content to fill the episode. So they're bringing in content.
Okay. Why would you say they would not do twist like a reset button or Pandora's box ever again? I think that they would. A Pandora's box for sure. Something to switch up the game. You don't think so?
What is a Pandora's box? What is that like?
So in previous seasons, the Pandora's box was something tempting. It was like not a power, but it was presented through the HOH, and it looked almost like a present. It was called Pandora's box, and you would receive something, but in order to receive the gift or the power, you were unleashing something bad,
something else
along with it. You didn't know what was going to be unleashed. So in a lot of, it was kind of pretty much one of the reasons that Rachel Riley won her season was because she was on the block during that, or she was going to be put on the block. She was on the block with, I believe, with Jordan, which was her ally.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I would not be opposed to something like that did shake it up. I feel like, unfortunately, with our luck, it would tank somebody like Devon or something and not who we want it to. So I don't know. It could be a double-edged sword. But
yeah, those Pandora's boxes, they usually just work for people who have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? If you're in a really good space, then you don't want to mess with a Pandora's box because it'll just mess you up. But if you're like not in a particularly good spot, then you just unleash it. And it's like, it is what it is. You're going to be screwed in the first place. Might as well just have fun with it and see where it goes. But
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think that if there's any other questions in here or anything that we want to tackle, if anybody has any last minute questions for us before we get off of here. I hate that we don't know who the HOH is. Typical. We don't know that, but yeah, if anybody has any last minute questions or anything they want us to tackle before we get off of here. It's nice reading through all of these. I missed talking to all of you.
I know.
Yeah, we're kind of looking through. Someone says, let's talk about George. George says, my conspiracy is since the neighbor moves in and is revealed on Thursday, live eviction, maybe the legend player will be controlling the HOH? Maybe co-HOHing?
Well, then I hope it is Paul because he'll take out exactly who we all want them to take out.
Okay, ladies, before we leave, who are we rooting for? Who do we see going through? I'm
hoping for a David HOH. That's what I want. I need something entertaining and that will give me hope for the future. So either Devon or David. That's what I want.
I would love a David HOH just for the chaos, but I want a Devon HOH just for another comp win under her belt.
Yeah. I would love to see a Devon. Actually, I know that it sounds like a broken record. Devon, Kevin, or David HOH. I would love to see David be an HOH because I think it would be just such a great week of feeds. It would be amazing. We would laugh a lot, and I just don't want to be depressed anymore. I feel like every time. I mean, seriously, the Devon and Bay eviction was just so rough, and it took a toll on me. Sometimes these watching these feeds and watching these episodes gives me just like that traumatic effect of just like all of the nasty things about it, unfortunately. But like I want them to feel, have that week of not being attacked and it feel a little bit lighter, and for you to see more of that gameplay, because I think that's what we saw this week was just more scrambling and more gameplay, and it wasn't about like how nasty they can get inside the house, even though some of that happened, but it was more like, how do we get out of this situation, and that's what I want to see. I just want to see more of that. So anybody outside, totally, if any of the 6 or anybody outside of those 3, if we could choose anybody to have the HOH where we'd be like, oh, it's not that bad, who would we want?
Honestly,
all of us are like, oh. To be quite honest, I'm gonna say Tyler. Though I want to say Tyler because I think that Tyler would be the only person.
I still don't trust him. I don't know.
Nicole. I was like, give me a Nicole, because I kind of want to see where she stands with Bae. I think she's BSing. I think like a Nicole HOH would really either confirm the type of person that she is.
We'll see. I don't know.
Enzo. Someone said Enzo. I don't know. Would Enzo? I don't think so. I think Enzo would just put up David and Kevin. Oh no, he'd put Davon up.
I think so too. I don't think an Enzo one would be interesting. I mean, I really don't have any faith in any of them, so I don't know. I think any of them would be a toss-up between Devon, Kevin, David. So I really don't have any interest in watching any of them become HOH, honestly.
You think Tyler? You don't think Tyler would put up Danny?
I don't know. Maybe as like a backdoor thing, but yeah, I don't think it would be an initial nom. I really don't.
I think if anything, right now is the time to like take a shot at their 6. I think Tyler's probably in the best spot to do that. That and Christmas, quite honestly. But Christmas is never going to do it because she's just like,
Lord,
so insanely loyal. It's disgusting.
Yes.
Yeah. So someone said none of them. Oh, well.
Agreed.
So everybody, thank you so much. Let's see. I was like, thank you so much for being on the show with us. Girl, let's agree to disagree. If you do not already do so, click like, subscribe, hit the notification button. I believe that we will be doing our shows from now on Thursdays. We figured that it's just the better day for us. However, if you do follow us on our Twitter at girl_LATD and then all of our other handles, we talk about Big Brother, about what's kind of going on. I miss you all. Like, I feel like we should be probably doing this more than once a week because I feel like there's just too much to cover to think back. But Bachelorette, I'm excited.
1 month.
It is almost time for the Bachelorette.
Yeah, I don't know for whoever follows us. We don't know if you watch Bachelorette, but Hannah, Kemi, and I are really hoping to be able to recap those as soon as it comes out. The premiere is on Tuesday, October 13th.
Yep, we're excited. I am pumped for it. It's going to be the drama and the excitedness that we are not getting in this so far. So, yes, but thank you all for coming and being here with us. We love you all and appreciate everyone that was here and everyone that donated too.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. It's good to be back.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be back. See you next week.
Bye.
I feel. I feel